Well, as we continue to report on issues impacting voters in today's primary, we want to highlight one felt by many in the New Hampshire community right now, and that's an uptick in housing insecurity and homelessness across the Granite State. Wouldn't think that, right? The New Hampshire Coalition to End Homelessness reports that the number of people experiencing homelessness in the state rose 125% between 2019 and 2022 and increased again in 2023. Since 2020, at least 1 in 5 people experiencing homelessness in New Hampshire did so without shelter. So we want to take a closer look at some of the systemic causes of this jump in New Hampshire's homeless population. It coincides with an increase in the national rate of homelessness, which rose by 12% in the last year. Joining me now to discuss is Amanda Gokee. She is a New Hampshire-based reporter for the Boston Globe. Thanks for joining us, Amanda. You know, I think for a national audience, when you think about homelessness, you know, maybe San Francisco comes to mind. You do not think New Hampshire. So what is fueling this outrageous increase in homelessness in New Hampshire?
Absolutely. So New Hampshire has been really hard hit by a housing shortage. And obviously, as costs have increased across the country, they've also been increasing in New Hampshire. So residents have been facing very high costs of electricity and home heating and the cost of housing. It's just been extremely inaccessible for people. So their salaries have not necessarily kept up with just how expensive housing has been. And the shortage really means that people just don't have much of a buffer zone. So an eviction can just lead folks into homelessness.
So, you know, what I'm hearing here is, and there are a lot of sort of reasons why people end up homeless. Sometimes we're talking about mental health issues. Sometimes we're talking about drug abuse. But what I'm hearing in New Hampshire is it's the economy, stupid. That's a part of it, a big part of it. Is this an issue that primary voters care about? Do they fold it into the sort of overarching issue of the health of the economy?
Absolutely. So I think that voters are absolutely talking about the housing crunch and homelessness as big issues facing the state. You know, people see it in their communities. They see their neighbors who are, you know, in these encampments, and, you know, encampments have been becoming more visible. And then there's also the sort of parallel concern about the economy, people talking about the cost of groceries being extremely high. I've done some reporting on food insecurity and how that's growing and affecting populations that, again, we wouldn't necessarily associate with food insecurity, like college students and young people. And these problems are largely very invisible. And I think you're hearing that from voters as well, who are talking about these issues. They're pointing to the high cost of electricity and home heating. They're really feeling the crunch right now. And they're also seeing their neighbors who are just struggling to make ends meet.
You know, when I was doing kind of like a brief look at what the candidates have been talking about, what they've been saying, I think I came up against like maybe one article where Donald Trump mentioned a homeless encampment and said something about we got to clean that up over there. You know, it didn't seem like the candidates were addressing homelessness, though I'm sure they're addressing the economy. Is there any one candidate that's performing better with New Hampshire voters when it comes to these topics?
You know, we've seen in our polling, we're doing tracking polls with the Boston Globe, and we're seeing that Trump is really leading Nikki Haley quite significantly. I spoke to some Trump voters, and they really pointed back to his first administration and said things were easier then, things were better for us in terms of our personal economics. Voters who said, I was able to buy a house during his first administration. So they see him and they are resonating with him as the candidate who is strong on the economy, whether that's borne out by the data or not.
Really interesting. Amanda Gokee, thank you very much.
Thank you.